Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley.
I'm Brian.
Might want to be sitting down for this one, Xbox fans. No, Brian, stand up.
I'm a fan.
One of the console's biggest exclusives of 2018 may be delayed again.
Yeah, there's some troubling signs that Crackdown 3 might be getting pushed back yet again, this time possibly to 2019.
Whew. All right, so this is still in the rumor stages at this point, but if true, this will only further add to the narrative Xbox One's getting creamed this generation when it comes to exclusives. I mean, its cupboard is pretty bare for the rest of 2018. They had Sea of Thieves came out, and that I think has potential for growth, but had some issues when it launched. They put out State of Decay 2. That is published by them, but it is an indie game at heart, so it's got a lot of indie game issues. So far, it's you know, it's a tough year for them.
Yeah, it's not that they're not any good games for the Xbox Ones. There definitely are, and more on the way, but most of those are multi-plats, and as this generation gets older and older, seems like time might be running out for the Xbox One to make up any ground on the PlayStation 4, which continues to pump out big-name exclusives.
Yeah, Xbox has done some pretty good work with putting out Xbox One X. That has definitely brought their momentum up, but hardware alone isn't going to do it.
Nope, need games.
Okay, let's get to the Crackdown 3 news. Well, I mean, it is more of a rumor at this point. It started on the Xbox One subreddit where someone posted their pre-order had been canceled by Amazon Spain.
Which, not a good sign, and Amazon will do that when games get delayed. We've had that happen. I had it personally with Dark Souls Remastered for the Switch. I got a notice from Amazon. They said, nope, come back later this summer.
Yeah, but at any rate, it's led to a flood of rumors about the Crackdown might be being canceled. That's not the case according to Microsoft, so don't panic about that. The game isn't gone, it's just coming later, potentially.
Yeah, marketing lead Aaron Greenberg tweeted, in response to all the rumors, the team continues to work hard on the game for our fans. You should contact Amazon directly for any questions related to orders with them. Which,
let's point out, is still pretty vague. It's not claiming that it's on track. He's not claiming nothing's changed.
He's working hard.
Just that they're working on it. Still, Jez Corden of Windows Central wrote the game could be headed for another delay. He wrote, I've heard from a few places that the game could be further delayed as Microsoft focuses on bringing up the game's quality. But until we get official word from Redmond, as always, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, now it's worth noting, Corden very plugged in when it comes to all things Microsoft and Xbox, so if he's saying it could be delayed, that makes it at least a possibility.
Well, and if it's pushed back, again, it's not a great sign for either Crackdown 3 or Xbox's lineup. The game suffered multiple delays over the years. It's had kind of a troubled history.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Crackdown 3, it's an open world action game where you play as a super-powered crime fighter who busts criminals, creates a ton of mayhem and destruction along the way. Terry Crews even helped hype up the game at E3 last year. That was awesome, and the series creator Dave Jones, he was brought back in to help develop it.
I mean, how can you not be excited about a game that's got Terry Crews involved?
It was cool.
Like, that's just like that alone. You know what? Just ship us Terry Crews. We'll be happy. The game's also supposed to utilize Microsoft's Azure cloud computing system to allow basically everything in the game to be destroyed, so that's a huge selling point. It's very cool. It's also supposedly going to feature a competitive multiplayer mode where the entire city can be smashed to smithereens. So there's a lot to look forward to when it comes out.
We've just been looking forward to this for a while. Crackdown 3 was announced in 2014. It was initially set to come out in 2016. That didn't happen, obviously. Then the game was shown off. We saw some gameplay at E3 last year, but some criticized the graphics and said it felt like it looked kind of last gen.
Yeah, well, it sounds like Microsoft heard that criticism because they announced a delay of the game a few months later.
Yeah, at that time, Shannon Loftus, who's the Microsoft Studios publishing general manager, said that the delay would give the developers working on the game more time to, quote, ensure a quality experience.
Loftus told Polygon, we're very excited about Crackdown 3, and so are many fans, and so it's a difficult call to move the release date. However, we want to make sure to deliver the right game with the right quality at the right time.
Yeah, and Loftus also said they were taking the extra time to focus on the visual polish so gamers can feel completely immersed in a living world.
Yeah, so basically all that indicated the game needed more work, and Microsoft realized that. What they showed at E3 last year just wasn't cutting it. At the time, they said it was being pushed back to the spring of 2018, which we're and that hasn't happened. So not coming now, at least.
Yeah, and it's clear Microsoft has a lot riding on this game. While they've been getting a lot of criticism for lack of exclusives, they have been trying to rebound with the Xbox One X and focusing on their back catalog, services like Game Pass where you can access that catalog for monthly fees. So they've got some stuff going on.
Yeah, Crackdown 3 was scheduled to launch same day as the Xbox One X, actually, on November 7th, which should give you an idea of the game's importance to Microsoft. They were hoping that that would be their X system seller, and then I'm sure it hurt them a lot internally. The difficult choice to decide to move that out.
Yeah, and back last year when the delay was announced, Xbox boss Phil Spencer addressed that delay in a tweet saying, "It's always disappointing to move a date. We're very committed to shipping Crackdown 3 to the level of quality the fans deserve."
But recently it sounded like things were firming up in terms of a release date for the game.
Yeah, just a little over 2 months ago, back in late March, Spencer responded to a Twitter conversation about Crackdown 3 and said, "We have a plan and the team is locked in on their date. We will talk about it more upcoming, but wait won't be too long."
Well, and at one point earlier this year, Amazon Spain, the same one that counts the pre-order, listed the game with a June 23rd release date. Sounds though like that might not happen. That would have been a good mic, like an E3 mic drop for Xbox though. They're at their conference just end up being like, "Oh, and Crackdown, it's gonna be out in a week." They did that a couple years ago when they announced the Xbox, several years ago. I'm dating myself a little bit potentially, but the Xbox 360 Slim, there, by the way, it's on its way to stores right now. So they have done those mic drop moments before. I'm sure they would have liked to do it again with Crackdown 3.
Big time. So if these rumors are true and Crackdown 3 is delayed again, that doesn't leave the Xbox with a whole lot of console exclusives left this year. Like we said, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, they've already been released. Those were pretty much the console's highest profile games outside of Crackdown.
There is some upcoming stuff this year. There is RPG Ashen, free-to-play MOBA Darwin Project, cinematic platformer Last Night. At some point, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, which I'm super looking forward to because the original Ori and the Blind Forest was so good and so charming, and I really hated the water level. Man, that was hard, but looking forward to more Ori. That's one of the only games that got me crying in the first 10 minutes. But none of the games have firm dates as yet. Again, give it a couple weeks, E3, I'm sure a lot will change.
True. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but as of right now, it looks like Crackdown 3 might be headed for another delay. Hopefully for Xbox fans, we get a release date at some point, and more importantly, that the game lives up to all these years of waiting.
And there is the age-old, was it adage, what the age-old saying that it's Miyamoto's, I think, a bad game is bad forever, but a delayed game is eventually good. Along those lines anyway, and obviously that's changing now that so many games are releasing unfinished and getting good later. But I think we can all agree, if it's the best thing for the game, that it's better to have a delay. It's just a little concerning they've had so many. Means they've potentially had a lot of trouble with the development of it. And I don't think anyone wants another Duke Nukem Forever.
No.
So, what do you guys think about Crackdown 3 possibly being delayed again? Let us know in the comments.
And for all your Xbox One news, be sure to like this video, and if you're new around here, subscribe to the Know.
Again.
Yeah, there are some troubling signs that Crackdown 3 might be getting pushed.
That's,
Do it again, all right.
We'll go to the top. I'm so full, I just threw up a little bit.
Sorry.
I should have gone for the one that was not as filling. They were delicious though.